Welcome back. All right, 10 games tonight in the National Hockey League, and of course, there was a coaching change made. There's a firing. I will be doing a video on that after I put this video up, so you don't need to leave a bunch of comments down below about a coach being fired. I know. Anyways, you'll also notice there's new magnets, 80s magnets. If a game has 10 goals, to me that qualifies as 80s night. All that's missing is when it hits that 10. I'd like it that I had like a little recording of John Lovitz doing it's ladies night, but it's 80s night, wedding singer style. I just don't have it. As soon as I started putting them up there, I had that stuck in my head, and I was like, that would be great. All right, preamble aside, that's why we have the timestamps. All right, Jones versus Shesterkin in the battle between Toronto and the New York Rangers. I am wearing Toronto. It's the second time in a video featuring multiple games I've worn the Toronto Maple Leafs. Honestly, I go by whichever jersey I have not worn in a while. So Rangers press at 2 minutes. At 3.5 minutes, it's Toronto that opens the scoring. Matthews, during a delayed penalty, scores from Nylander and Gregor. So delayed penalty, they score. And then at 5:07, face-off win, screenshot, Timmins scores his first of the year. Yarncroke and Domi with the assists. So at 5:07, it's 2-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. It does not stay that way. At 5:42, it's just chaos in front of the Toronto net. Wheeler puts it in, tips it in. That makes it 2-1. We then get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. The Leafs with a 4-on-2. Adam Fox breaks that up. Teams exchange rush chances. We get a power play for New York. That's killed off. There's a near miss for Matthews on a net drive. And then Toronto with 2 goals in 20 seconds. At 15:20, it's Yarncroke from Tavares. And at 15:40, it's Marner from Matthews and Lagesson. So it's 4-1 for Toronto after the first period. Second period, shots are 2 apiece at 3.5 minutes. Zibanejad has a rush chance, that's blocked. The Rangers press at 5 minutes. The Leafs then get some pressure at 8.5 minutes. VC can't bury one in close. We get some hugging with 9:33 left. That's not allowed, so 4-on-4. Jones was really becoming the story in this game. He absolutely was. I thought, considering he hasn't had a full game in the NHL this year, he was good. Rangers press with 8 minutes left. Tavares then has a rush chance. That's blocked. We get a power play for the Rangers. Zibanejad hits the side of the net with one. The next one goes in the net. Zibanejad from Panarin and Fox at 16:29. It is 4-2 in favor of the Leafs. Trocheck to Kreider gets picked off. McMahon's denied on a rush, and then the puck goes the other way, and Wheeler scores on a rush. He scores from Zibanejad and Trouba at 18:26, makes it 4-3. And suddenly, after 2 periods, the Rangers are back in this. But the third period, Toronto did some good Toronto things here. Marner's robbed on a 2-on-1. The Leafs end up drawing a power play, and they score on it. And it's Marner that gets the goal from Riley and Matthews at 1:29. A point shot getting tipped in perfectly by Marner. Rangers look to answer with 8:57 left. The Leafs get a power play. That's killed off. And then at 17:11, Matthews scores from Nylander and McCabe. As Shesterkin's rough night continues, they pull the goalie because why not? Camp scores into the empty net from Brody at 18:33. Toronto wins 7-3. It does not qualify as a no mercy game because it's a 4-goal difference, but it absolutely qualifies as an 80s game because 10 goals. Shots on net in this one, 11-3 Toronto in the first, 15-8 Rangers in the second, 13-11 Rangers in the third. They actually outshoot Toronto 31-30. Power plays, Toronto 1 for 3, the Rangers 1 for 2. The hits 23-13 for the Rangers. Martin Jones saves 28 out of 31, so that's a .903 save percentage for him. Good on him. And Shesterkin, 23 saves on 29 shots at the other end. So for Igor, that's a rough start. And Jonathan Quick's kind of taken over as the starter. I didn't see that happening, but yeah, I think Quick's the better of the 2 goalies right now. All right, next up. Carolina and the Ottawa Senators. So it's Kochetkov versus Korpisalo, and Canes needed this. Apparently that players meeting, whatever they discussed, worked out all right, and apparently Kochetkov was part of that meeting too because he played the best game he's played all year. Early jump for the Canes. The shots on net, though, are 2 apiece 4 minutes in. Kachuk's denied as the Sens press, and then at 7:27, during what was a really good press by the Ottawa Senators, Norris scores from Brandstrom and Giroux. Canes look to respond. Teravainen has a shot. That's blocked. Joseph's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. We get a power play for the Senators. That's killed off. Canes have a 2-on-1 that misfires, but then Natchez on a cross-ice pass from Shea scores at 18:50. Ties the game at 1. The Sens look to answer, but it's 1-1 after the first. Second period, Canes press a minute and a half in. Jarvis is denied on a fast break. Senators with some pressure 4 minutes in. We get a power play for Ottawa. Tarasenko's denied. Puck's cleared out. So that power play's killed off, but the Sens get another. There's a shorthanded rush by the Canes. They fire wide on that. The power play's killed off. Fans getting restless at this point in Ottawa. Shots are 3-2 at the half in favor of Ottawa. But we get a power play for the Canes, and they score on it. It takes 15 seconds. Aho from D'Angelo and Teravainen at 12:18. And then on a 2-on-1 rush, Jarvis buries one. Aho with the assist at 13:39. That is 3 goals on the last 6 shots for the Carolina Hurricanes. Canes have some pressure with 5.5 minutes left. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And then Aho scores from PHI-NSH at 17:19. It's 4-1 Carolina after 2. Third period, we get a power play for the Sens. Joseph can't bury one. It's cleared out, killed off. Sens press, but they're not getting shots. The shots are 2-1 Carolina 9 minutes in. Tkachuk to Giroux, there's a near miss there. Batherson's denied on a net drive. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Tkachuk has a penalty shot that's saved, and then he just he wasn't in a good mood after that, so he gets a 10-minute misconduct. He's out of the game. Ref is told that he sucks for that, and Ottawa had chances down the stretch, but in the end, Carolina wins 4-1. Again, a much-needed victory for Carolina. They go to 15-12-1 with the win. For Ottawa, they drop to 11-12 with the loss. Again, Ottawa needs to use these games in hand they have on everybody and get something rolling, and it just hasn't worked out. Shots on net, 14-11 Carolina in the first, 10-8 Carolina in the second, 13-4 Ottawa in the third. Final shots, 32-28 for Ottawa. Power plays, Carolina scored on both of them, and Ottawa was 0 for 4. The hits, 19-11 Ottawa. Kochetkov saves 31 out of 32. Again, I think the best game he's played all year. Korpisalo saved 24 out of 28 at the other end. So, important game for Carolina to win, and they got the win when they needed it. All right, next up, Arizona and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Arizona's fall continues. So, it's Ingram versus Jarry. We get a power play for the Penguins, and they score on it. I think it's because it was early in the game. I think being this early in the game, I think they just said, you know what, let's just break the slump, and they did. At 1 minute and 12 seconds, it's Gensel from Crosby and Puustinen. Puustinen with assists in back-to-back games. Coyotes press to respond. We get a press by the Penguins then at 7 minutes. Shots are 8-0 for Pittsburgh at 7.5 minutes. There had been a shot that had been credited to Arizona. That came off the board. Krause has a shot that's blocked. Carlson's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. And then the Coyotes get a power play and they score on it. It's Krause from Zucker and Valimaki at 10:20. Penguins then get a power play. That lasts 4 seconds. Becomes 4-on-4, and then we have 1 minute and 33 seconds of a 4-on-3, so everything's all overlapping. Gensel's denied close, it's killed off. The Coyotes go back to the power play, they score on this one. Michelli scores from Krause and Zucker at 15:24, and then the Coyotes get another power play. So Jeff Carter gets a shorthanded goal from O'Connor at 16:54, and that was on a breakaway, and then the Penguins finish the kill. So after the first period, it's 2-2 between these teams. Lots of goals early in these games tonight. Second period, Cooley has a rush chance, that saved. Bjugstad's denied on a rush. The shots are 4 apiece at 5 minutes, so lots of chances. Carconi has a net drive, that saved. Hinostrotis is denied on a 2-on-1. We get a power play for the Coyotes. That's killed off. Penguins are blocking off net chances. The shots are 14-8 Pittsburgh with 4.5 minutes left. Penguins press, the Coyotes block. We get a post for Malkin in close. It remains 2-2 after the second period. Third period, early press by the Coyotes. The Penguins draw a power play. There's a shorthanded rush by Kerfoot that won't go. And then Carter tips in his second goal of the game. He scores from Letang and Smith at 4:23. I said in the preview, it just didn't seem right. He only has 1 goal. Not saying he's playing great, but he needs more than 1 goal. Now he has 3. So the Penguins look to add another. The shots are 8-1 Pittsburgh. 9 minutes in, we get a power play for the Coyotes. That becomes 4-on-4. That's all killed off. The Coyotes press with 4.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. And Gensel hits the empty net at 18:37 from Malkin and Pettersson. So it's 4-2 in favor of Pittsburgh. They win this one. They go to 12-12-3. The Coyotes drop to 13-13-2 with the loss. Shots on net, 14-7 Pittsburgh in the first, 18-10 Pittsburgh in the second, 12-4 Pittsburgh in the third. They outshoot Arizona by more than a 2-1 margin at 44-21. Power plays, both teams go 2 for 5. Hits, 24-20 for Pittsburgh. Ingram saves 40 out of 43. And at the other end, Jarry saved 19 out of 21. So, entertaining game. Pittsburgh gets the win, and they get their power play going. Maybe this is where they start to turn it around. All right, next up, Detroit and St. Louis. This was a bonkers game, and the coach being fired tonight is Craig Berube. I didn't think that was ever going to happen. Berube's a big dude. Anyways, Husso, I'd never be able to fire him. He could come in here and he'd have all the jerseys all wrecked and all in the wrong order, and I'd be like, good job, Craig. So, Husso versus Bennington, early press by the Blues. Power play for St. Louis, that's killed off. There's a post for Kane on a rush, and then on a nice pass by Buchnevich, Saad scores to open it from Buchnevich and Kapanen at 5:56. Wings look to answer. The shots are 4-3 Detroit, 7.5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Wings. Butchnevich is robbed on a shorthanded break. The power play is killed off. The Blues then have a rush. Hayes misses one high in an open net, and then Wallman roofs one in close at 13:33. So that ties the game after Hayes missed the net. So not great moment for Hayes there. And then at 15:31, Bergeron buries a rebound from Petrie and Sprong. So suddenly it's 2-1 in favor of Detroit. Wings press for another with 2:42 left. The Blues get a power play. That's killed off. It's 2-1 Detroit after the first. Second period, a face-off win, and Hayes scores. Leddy and Parayko with the assists at 1:40, so he tips in a point shot. And then at 2 minutes and 11 seconds, Hayes on a turnover wires one. Husso would want that back. So suddenly it's a 3-2 lead for the St. Louis Blues. Wings press at 4 minutes. There's a near miss for Kyrou. The Blues press. We get a power play for Detroit. Sundqvist prevents a goal for Patrick Kane. That power play is killed off. Pretty dangerous, though. Neighbors has a slot shot that's fired wide. And then Sider buries a rebound. Rasmussen with the assist at 9:47. And suddenly Detroit's tied the game. Wings press with 7.5 minutes left. We have a power play for Detroit. However, Scandella gets the shorthanded goal. He buries it top shelf at 16:53. Then there was a shorthanded post for Toropchenko. If that had gone in, we might not have a coaching decision to talk about tonight. But that power play ends up being killed off. So after 2 periods of play, it's 4-3 in favor of St. Louis. Third period, early Wings power play, and they score on it. 48 seconds into the period, Raymond ties the game from Veleno and Kane. So Patrick Kane with an assist to go with the goal he already had coming into this one. Blues look to respond. Wings go back to the power play. That's killed off. But at 6:36, Fabry buries his own rebound to give Detroit the lead. Raymond and Kopp with the assists. Shots are 6-4 for the Wings at 9.5 minutes. Zarnik is denied on a fast break. The Blues press with 4.5 minutes left. With 3:25 left, Blues with a power play. They would pull the goaltender to make it a 6-on-4, which means Rasmussen gets the shorthanded empty net goal from Veleno at 18:21 to put this one away. Detroit wins in St. Louis 6-4. The 80s magnets right there. 59-4 record now for the Detroit Red Wings. St. Louis 13-14-1 with the loss. Shots on net, 12-9 Detroit in the first, 19-12 St. Louis in the second, 9-8 St. Louis in the third. Final shots 37-32 for the Blues. Power plays, Detroit 1 for 5, St. Louis 0 for 3. The hits 15-8 for St. Louis. Husso saves 33 out of 37. Bennington 26 saves on 31 shots. What's interesting is Husso always allows a lot of goals. Detroit gives him a lot of goal support. So they talk about Detroit and all the goals they score. It just feels like with Husso in the net, it's similar to last year with Seattle and Martin Jones. They score more goals when he's in the net. So his numbers aren't great, but he gets the win. All right, that being said, moving to the last game on the board, and it's Philadelphia and the Nashville Predators. And Philadelphia dominated this game, but Saros was in the thefting mood. So Ersson versus Saros in this one. Early power play for Nashville. Flyers block. They clear. They kill that off. Then we get a power play for the Flyers. That follows shortly thereafter. Nashville kills that off as well. Shots are 5-3 in favor of Philly, 7.5 minutes in, but Nashville would get on the board first. It's Nyquist at 9:42 from Carrier and Forsberg, and it was from the right circle, and that's tipped in. Pressed by the Nashville Predators with 8 minutes left. We then get a power play for Philly. Couturier has a chance that's held, and the power play ends up being killed off. Flyers go back to the power play, and Nashville kills that one too. So they're in the rhythm. All right, we'll just kill another 2 minutes. They do exactly that. Yossi's then denied. The rebound gets cleared. There's a near miss for Sissons. Ersson holds there. It's 1-0 Nashville after the first. Second period. Forrester's denied on a 2-on-1. Couturier has a chance that's held. The Flyers press at 2 minutes. Sherwood took a puck to the face. Didn't look great on that one. Shots are 4-1 Flyers at 2.5 minutes, but McCarron scores from Shannon Smith at 3:05. So suddenly on their first shot, they're on the board. Yossi to Novak near misses. Now Nashville's looking to add to their lead. Forsberg has a rush chance that's held. We get some pushing. Power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Tippett hits the outside of the post. Walker's denied. Saros was without a stick on that one, but he still holds the puck. 2:33 left, Nashville with a power play. There's a kick save on Forsberg. And then Farabee out of the box is part of a rush, and Couturier scores from Farabee at 19:36. So after the second period, it's 2-1 Nashville. But you feel like, yeah, maybe Philly's got something going here. Well, kind of, sort of, but in the end, right? So third period, Flyers press early. There's too many Nashville players on the ice, so the Flyers get a power play there. That's killed off. Smith is denied on a net drive. Shots are 3-2 for Philly, 4.5 minutes in. At 6:49, they tie the game. It's Sanheim. He buries a rebound from Konechny and Couturier. Fans and Nashville players losing their minds because they believed that there was a trip at center ice that was missed. And so that takes place. They want a call, and the puck goes in the net. So the ref is informed that in terms of meters of sucking, he's not at the bottom. He's pretty close to 100% on the suckage meter. Anyways, press by Nashville with 9 minutes left. Lots of block shots by Philadelphia in this game, and in the third period especially. Atkinson's denied on a 2-on-1. Nashville presses in the final minute. So we go to overtime. One thing you don't get in overtime, block shots. So Nashville scores 18 seconds in. It's a rebound by Forsberg that's buried. Yossi and O'Reilly with the assists. Nashville wins 3-2 in overtime. They go to 16-13 with the win. Philadelphia drops to 15-10-3 with the overtime loss. Shots on net, 15-7 Philly in the first, 14-5 Philly in the second, 10-7 Philly in the third. In the overtime, both shots for Nashville. That's all they needed. Final shots, 39-21 for Philadelphia. Power plays 0-4 for Philly, 0-3 for Nashville. Hits 27-19 Nashville. Ersson saved 18 out of 21. Saros saved 37 out of 39. So I need to change boards. All right, so a lot less scoring. You'll notice there's no 80s magnets and a lot less scoring on this board. So Chicago and Edmonton just continues. So for people who, power rankings, Edmonton's moved up a lot this week. So it's Mrazek versus Skinner, and at 3 minutes and 20 seconds, Bedard with that release. He opens the scoring for Chicago, Vlasic with the assist. That was only the second shot. So Chicago advantageous there, but the Oilers look to respond. There's a press by Edmonton 7 minutes in. McDavid has a shot that's caught and held. Kulak had a rush chance that was saved. The shots are 6-4 Chicago 9.5 minutes in. But Nugent-Hopkins at 9:38 scores from McDavid and Bouchard. So suddenly it's 1-0, or 1-1 I should say, in this one. Kane has a net feed that's picked off, and it stays 1-1 until late in the period. Gagner buries one in close off of a good forecheck by Ryan. And at 18-19, the Oilers have a lead. They would not give up. Hawks look to respond. There's a press by Chicago to close it, but it remains 2-1 Edmonton after the first period. Second period, there are no shots on net 4 minutes in. Not a lot to talk about. Both of these games, the first two here, went through large stretches where there really wasn't much to write on the board. Nurse to Draisaitl gets picked off. Hyman's denied and close. The Oilers press with 7.5 minutes left. And Draisaitl, who has basically taken the lunch money of the Chicago Blackhawks for years now, he scores from Ceci and Gagner at 13:22. Dickinson can't bury one in close. The Chicago's looking to respond. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has a chance. That's kicked aside. Draisaitl nearly adds another. With 1:53 left, the Oilers have a power play. That becomes 4-on-4. It becomes a 4-on-3 as the parade's going on. The Oilers with the power play. Kick save on a Bouchard slap shot, but we roll over into the third period with the Oilers leading 3-1. And it becomes 4-1. Hyman tips in a goal on the power play at 42 seconds. McDavid and Bouchard with the assists. So eventually they cash in on the power play. Reichel fires one wide on a turnover. We get a power play for Chicago, and it wasn't very good. It just wasn't very good. So they get another power play. The Oilers really prevented a setup. It was a little better than the first one, but not much. That one's killed off too. Hawks press with 4 minutes left. They had opportunities here and there, but in the end, the Oilers were too much for them. That's 8 wins in a row for Edmonton with the 4-1 victory. They go to 13-12-1 on the season. Chicago 9-18-1 with the loss. Shots on net 14-8 Chicago in the first, 14-5 for Edmonton in the second, and 7 for Edmonton in the third. Final shots 29-23 for the Oilers. Power plays Chicago 0-2, Edmonton 1-2. The hits 30-17 for Chicago. Mrazek saves 25 out of 29. Skinner saves 22 out of 23. And again, Skinner's stats are gradually getting better for the Edmonton Oilers. So, a pretty impressive victory overall. All right, next up, Seattle at home against Florida. I don't have to do a 10-game video. Nope. Seattle does not lose 10 games in a row. They lose 9, but they don't lose 10. Bobrovsky versus DeCord in this one. The Panthers had the lone shot on net 3.5 minutes in. Shore has a rush chance. That's held. We get a power play for Florida. That's killed off. Forsling then has a rush chance. That's held. Panthers press at 9.5 minutes. There was one shot for Seattle at the halfway mark of the period. Florida really gave them nothing. Virtually nothing, really, through the first two periods. Seattle had very little to work with. OEL has a shot that's blocked. It's all Panthers. The Kraken press with 6 minutes left. They don't get much out of it. It remains scoreless after the first. Second period, early jump for the Panthers. Looks like they're going to pick up where they left off. But on a breakaway, Yamamoto roofs it. And it's on the first shot, the fourth shot of the game, but first shot of the second period. Borgen and Belmar with the assists at 3:06. Seattle's ahead in a game that they really didn't have any business being ahead in. Kraken press for another. Panthers, though, they draw a power play. That's killed off. Florida goes back to the power play. Reinhardt has a slot shot. That deflects out. Ozone penalties taken by Lomberg, just a little overzealous. Gord's denied and close. That power play's killed off. Panthers press with 5 minutes left. Forsling to Cousins gets picked off. Ekblad fires one high on a face-off win. Forsling has a chance that's held. After 2 periods of play, it's 1-0 Seattle. Third period, early press by the Panthers. The shots are 2 apiece at 5.5 minutes. And at 5:59, Belmar makes it a 2-goal lead. Evans and Yamamoto with the assists. That's Riker Evans' first NHL point. Forsling then has a screenshot that's held. And yeah, if DeCord could see it, he saved it tonight. There just wasn't happening. Kraken's play really improved after that first period. And at 9:13, on a rush chance, Wenberg buries one. Borgen and Cartier with the assists. So some players for Seattle that you've been waiting to see start scoring did that tonight. Evans fires one wide as the Kraken press. Oliver Ekman-Larsson fires one wide at the other end when the Panthers are getting some pressure. Tolvanen has a rush chance. That's held. The goalie pull happens with 5:40 left because you're down by 3. So at 16:09, Tolvanen hits the empty net from Dunn. He just kind of flips it in there, and Seattle wins this one 4-0. So there's the Tony the Tiger magnet because DeCord was great. Shots on net, 9-3 Florida in the first, 7 apiece in the second, 13-8 Seattle in the third. Final shots 24-23 for Florida. Power plays, Florida 0 for 3, Seattle 0 for 1. The hits 18-15 for Florida. Bobrovsky saves 19 out of 22 and DeCord saves all 24 shots for the shutout. That's how you do it with Grubauer out. It's just that's how you do it. So DeCord with a really strong game, and now Seattle, their record gets a little bit better with the win. I didn't actually put the records up, did I? Alakazam. So 17-9-2 is the record for Florida with the loss. 9-14-7 record for Seattle. So they got 9 wins. Shots on net, 9-3 Florida in the first, 7 apiece in the second. I already went through that part, didn't I? It was just the records I had to tell you. All right, we're all done with that. But yeah, Seattle. I mean, I can't say it's a big win because they're still 5 games below what's NHL 500, but it's a start, right? It's a start. All right, next up, moving along. Vancouver, how about this? Tampa Bay took my advice. They kept Hedman out of the lineup. Good call. You rest him against the Canucks. You play him against everybody else. Vasilevsky versus Demko, but this didn't start great for the Canucks. Point buries one in close from Sergachev and Hagel at 125, and the shots are 3-1 Tampa at 3 minutes. And it felt like if Tampa got that 2-goal lead, it could get ugly. But we get a power play for the Canucks, and it's Kuzmenko. I think all Canuck fans are rooting for Kuzmenko right now. He scores his 5th from Hughes and Miller at 6:08. So maybe this is, Kuzmenko's chance to get going. But it's 1-1 at that stage. Bolts press at 8 minutes. There's a goal line save on Pettersson at the other end. We get a power play for Tampa. There's an early clear, and Vancouver kills that off. 2 shots on the power play for Tampa. 1:52 left. Tampa Bay gets another power play. Stamkos is denied. It's cleared out. 8 seconds of that power play rolls over into the second. Vancouver kills that off. Early press by the Canucks. The shots are 5-3 Vancouver at 3.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Canucks. Kuzmenko had a tip shot that saved, so he was going for that second goal. Miller has a shot that's blocked. There's a shorthanded rush by Cirelli that's saved. That power play is killed off. And then it's Brock Besser bearing a rebound. Miller and Hronik with the assists at 9:28. Bolts press to respond. Miller's denied from the slot. And then it's Besser again scoring from Hughes and Hronik at 16:51. So that one's buried from the slot. Pretty impressive play there. You just grab something here. All right, and I'll play it. All right, so the Canucks look for another, but it's 3-1 after 2 periods. Third period, Bolts press at 2.5 minutes. Pettersson to Mikheyev gets blocked. There's a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. Shots are 4-1 for Tampa Bay at 7 minutes. Hagel has a shot that's blocked. They press. Bolts press again with 9 minutes left. They had opportunities. They wanted this. Hayden Fleury's denied it in close as the Bolts are pressuring. Really, Demko earned his money in that third period. Canucks press with 5.5 minutes left. Then there's a near miss for Chernak. Canucks clear it out. Paul can't bury one in close. The goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left. And at 18:29, it is... Let me just turn that up.
Brock Besser.
So I sent that to my wife, because that's what I do. Yeah, he gets the empty netter from Hughes at 18:29. Just proving I do. She wasn't home, so I had to send her a voice message for that. I pay for data for that. Anyways, so Vancouver wins this one 4-1 on the empty netter from Brock Besser. It's the hat trick goal as well. 19-9-5 now is the record for the Canucks. It's ludicrous. For Tampa Bay, 13-12-5 with the loss. For Vancouver, their next matchup is Florida. I'm a little bit scared because Florida's coming in after losing this one to Seattle, but you know what? Vancouver's doing well. Shots on net, 11-4 Tampa in the first, 14-5 Vancouver in the second, 13-4 Tampa in the third. Final shots, 29-22 in favor of Tampa Bay. Power plays, Tampa Bay 0 for 3, Vancouver 1 for 2. The hits, 19-18 Vancouver. Vasilevsky, 18 saves on 21 shots. Demko, 28 saves on 29 shots. And Demko was fantastic. Don't tell me I don't do high-tech stuff on my... I do that. That's high-tech. That's plenty. All right. Next up, Calgary and Vegas. So, Wolf versus Thompson in this one. Shots are 3-1 for Vegas, 3.5 minutes in. But it's Calgary who gets the lead. Uyghur scores from Coleman and Backlund at 6:27. We then get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Backlund's denied on a net drive. Uyghur has a shot. That's held. Ozone penalty taken by Eichel. It becomes a 4-on-4. And on the other end of that 4-on-4, it's a power play for Vegas, and they score. Stevenson, who's suddenly red hot. He's on a 3-game goal-scoring streak. Marchessault with the assist at 13:33. Stevenson buries his own rebound there. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period. 2:37 in. Kadri would score from Zary and Pospisil. So the rookies get on the board there for Calgary. Vegas looks to answer. The shots are 3-1 in their favor, 4.5 minutes in. Vegas presses at 5 minutes, and eventually, as a result of it, they score. Barbashev from Stone and Eichel at 5:20. Flames, they get some pressure to respond. Game's tied at 2 now. Uyghur has a shot that's blocked as they press. We get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Shots are 7-2 for Vegas with 7.5 minutes left. Flames press with 4 minutes left. There's a press by Vegas with 2.5 minutes left. But then, after a huge save by Wolf, Calgary scores. Sharon Govich from Lindholm at 17:58 on a rush. So it's 3-2 Calgary after 2. They had a lead after 2 against Colorado as well. But at least they get a point tonight. So third period, Flames press at 2.5 minutes. Osterley gets a chance. That deflects out. Shots on net are 2-0 Calgary at 3.5 minutes. But it's Vegas. You know it's coming. So Pospisil has a shot that's saved, and they press. Power play then for Vegas. There was a shorthanded rush chance for Backlund that gets saved. The puck goes the other way and it goes in the net. It's Stone from Carlson and Marchessault at 6 minutes on a rush. So it's just like that. Shorthanded chance doesn't go in, and then the power play goal does. Strong Vegas forechecking at this stage too, not giving Calgary much room with the puck. Cotter fires one wide. The rebound's cleared. 9:50 left. There's a power play for Calgary. Vegas kills that off. Huberdeau has a rush chance. That deflects out. Anderson's denied. And then Carlson at 16:14 puts Vegas in the lead. Stevenson and Marchessault with the assists. So it's a turnover, and they bury it. They make quick work of it. But goalie pull with 1:45 left, and to Calgary's credit, they do tie the game. Sharon Govich tips one in. Hannafin and Kadri with the assists at 19 minutes. We are going to overtime. In the overtime, the Flames controlled early. Kadri hits the side of the net. And then on a fast break, Vegas ends it. It is Stone from Eichel and Pietrangelo at 1 minute and 11 seconds. Vegas wins 5-4 in overtime. They go to 25-5 on the season. Calgary drops to 11-14-4 with the overtime loss. Shots on net, 15-14 Calgary in the first. 15-4 for Vegas in the second. 12-9 Calgary in the third. Vegas had the only shot of the overtime. It's all they needed. Final shots, 39-31 Vegas. Power plays, Calgary 0 for 2. Vegas 2 for 4. Hits 21-20 for Vegas. Wolf saved 34 out of 39. I thought he was very good. Thompson saved 27 out of 31 at the other end and continues to rack up wins while Adin Hill is out. I don't think people are as upset about Adin Hill being out right now. All right, next up and last one for the night, Winnipeg and San Jose. And I thought this morning, I should put a magnet here. I said that in the preview, and I didn't put the trap magnet. So Bressois versus Blackwood, early edge for San Jose. They were leading 3-0 in shots a minute and a half in, and it was just a barrage from there. Lowry's tonight on a rush. 4.5 minutes in, we've already had 11 shots for the San Jose Sharks. Bressois is the only reason it's scoreless at this stage. Strong forechecking by the San Jose Sharks. Nemesnikov hits the side of the net. The Jets press at 8.5 minutes, but at 9:17, Bailey scores. He's on a 3-game point scoring streak. Hoffman and Ruda. It's points posting in, and it's a screenshot too, so no chance for Bressois. Barron's tonight on a net drive. We get a power play for the Sharks. Quickly becomes 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. Sharks rush after that's done. Ehlers is denied. Blackwood holds, but then at 16:09, unassisted, it's Dillon getting a goal to tie the game at 1. With 1:56 left, the Jets get a power play. That rolls up to the end of the first period, where they get chances, sure. They don't go in the net. So that last 4 seconds in the second period, spoiler alert, it's killed off. So early edge for the Jets. Niederreiter has a net feed that's blocked. The Jets have some momentum. The Sharks then get some pressure 4 minutes in. Morrissey has a chance, it's held. Barabanov has a slot shot, that's blocked. Granlund's denied from the slot. The shots are 8-6 for Winnipeg with 9.5 minutes left. Power play for the Jets. Perfetti can't bury one in close. Power play's killed off. 2 shots. Power play for the Sharks. Addison has a blasted save. That power play's killed off as well. Sharks press after it's done. It remains 1-1 after 2. So San Jose doing a very good job of not letting opponents get too far ahead of them anymore and keeping it close, or in this case, tied. Third period, teams exchange rushes. The Jets press at 2 minutes. We get a power play for Winnipeg. Iafallo has a shot that's blocked. That power play's killed off. Barron fires one high. It's cleared out after that. Eklund has a rush. That's defended. There's a near miss for Scheifele. It's cleared out. Granlund's denied and close. With 6:26 left, the Sharks get a power play, and they score on it. It's a one-timer by Eklund. Granlund to Duclair with the assists at 15:09. Suddenly, San Jose has their lead back. 3:32 left, the Jets get a power play. So they weren't happy with that penalty that was called that gave San Jose a power play. Not happy at all. So this is their chance to tie it. San Jose rejects that chance and kills that off. So 1:15 left with the goalie on the bench. Jets call a timeout. About 20 seconds later, San Jose calls a timeout as well. Scheifele ends up being denied and close. That's about the best opportunity that the Winnipeg Jets get. They lose this one 2-1. So you win in Colorado, you lose in San Jose. The Sharks 9-17-3 as their record keeps getting better. For Winnipeg, they're 16-9-2 with the loss. Shots on net 15 apiece in the first, 13-10 Winnipeg in the second, 9-7 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots 37-32 for Winnipeg. Power plays 0 for 5 for Winnipeg, 1 for 3 for San Jose. Hits 18-14 for San Jose. Bressois saved 30 out of 32. He was not a problem. Blackwood was excellent. 36 saves on 37 shots at the other end. So there you go. You're all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.